Okay, let's start with the meeting. If anyone would like to join, they will join later. Anyway, I'm recording the session, so I will share it in the group also. Just let me know if you can hear me clearly.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's start. First thing I want to discuss is what is uh, a conservative field. Okay, conservative vector field. Okay, conservative vector field. First thing about conservative vector field is, let's say a field F can be written as this is gradient, right? Gradient of some potential. Okay, if a field can be written as gradient of some potential function, this is the potential function. Okay, this is the potential function. Then we say that the vector field is conservative. Okay, the vector field is conservative. Second thing about the uh, conservative field is, we can say curl of f is equal to 0. Okay, if curl of any vector is 0, we say it is conservative. Why a conservative field has the curl of conservative field is 0? Because we know that f can be written as gradient of some function, and we know that curl of gradient equal to 0. You have studied it in the vector analysis, vector calculus part, right? The curl
Yes.
of gradient is 0. So obviously we can say if the curl of a function is 0, it means it is conservative. Okay, what are the other property of a conservative field is? Third. Okay, the other property of a conservative field is, okay, one more thing, if f can be written as gradient of some phi na, it means f is exact in partial differential terms. It is exact. Exact means it is integrable. You can integrate it. Okay, and if you can integrate it, that is, if I integrate o, okay, if I integrate c, let's say f. Okay, okay, so f can be written as some d phi, so it will give some phi. If it is a to b, phi from a to b, right? It will become phi of a, sorry, phi of b minus phi of a, phi of a, right? It is exact, and integrable. So from the property 3, we can say that line integral of f dot er is path independent. Why it is path independent? Because it is always equal to phi of b minus phi of a. That is, it depends on endpoints only. So if in a conservative field I go from, let's say this is a and this is b, I take this straight line to go to a to b. I take this line to go to a to b. Okay, I take this line to go to a to b, or I take this line like a triangle. No matter what the path is, as long as the endpoints are same, the work done or the line integral is same. This will represent work done. F dot dr is work done if f is force, right? So that's why. So you must have studied in physics in 11th 12th class that in a conservative field, work done along a loop is 0, right? Okay, you must have studied it. Okay, work done in a loop is 0. Like in gravity, work done uh, in a loop is 0, but for friction it is non-zero. Why? Because friction is a non-conservative force. So work done by friction, okay, is path dependent. It will depend on the path you take. But work done by a field, conservative field, is path independent. It will only depend on the endpoints. Okay, there was a question this year in mains only, that you were given an integration f dot dr, you were given some f, and you were given path 1, path 2, and path 3. Okay, path 3 with same endpoints, same endpoint. Okay, and here the answer was some 5, there was answer was some 23 by 3, that I don't remember the answer, but that kind of thing. And it asked why. Okay, why the answers, they didn't quote the answer same or not, and if state the reason. Here the answers were different. And what was the reason? The reason is f is non-conservative. F is non-conservative, because if f were to be conservative, then for path 1, path 2, path 3, all values must be same. F dot dr should be same for all paths, same for all paths. Okay, same goes for, if you have studied complex analysis, if a function fz is analytic, then uh, then also line integral of f is path independent, is path independent. That is, you can say f is conservative in that sense. Will not be the right term to use for analytic function that is in complex domain, but concept remains the same. Okay, so conservative means that f equal to gradient of some phi, some potential function, or it means curl of f equal to 0. So let's say tomorrow if a question come in UPSC, that it gives you a function f. Okay, it gives you f, and it says ki show that this field is conservative. What you can do is you can directly find it curl and show it that the curl is 0, and you can say it is conservative. Okay, the third thing is line integral f dot dr is not dependent on path, not dependent on path. Okay, fourth thing is it is integrable, it is integrable. Okay, because there was one question was asked in UPSC. Okay, that they gave some function f, and they asked to show that this function is integrable. Okay, show that this function is integrable, and nobody had studied till then that what is the condition for a function to be integrable. But if you just think a little more now, you can draw parallels from other topics, because it was a question of partial differential equations, so nobody was able to solve it. But if people were able to connect the dots, you can solve it. Okay, curl of f equal to 0 is actually the condition for a function to be integrable. So if function was in the form, let's say f1, okay, f1 dy dz plus f2, so you can reduce it to the form f dot n. Okay, and you can find the f, that is this one, it is f1i plus f2j plus f3k in that form, and you could have found its curl, shown it 0 without writing fijk, but just uh, use this, okay, and tweak it in and write in the PD form. Okay, because in the end the condition was the same, that is they were determinant should have been equal to 0, and if you see the terms of the determinant, exactly same as the curl, exactly same as the curl. Okay, so always keep your ears and eye open, because you don't know which concept can be used where. Okay, now I want to discuss some questions with you. Okay, I want to discuss some questions with you. Let's start with your questions. If you have anything to ask, you can ask. Okay, okay, so first concept that I want to discuss is curl of grad of something is equal to 0. This is the first concept that I want to ask, because this is used in many questions. So that's why I'm stating it. Okay, let's see a question on this where you can use it. Okay, where you can use it. I'm sharing the screen with you guys. Let me know if you can see it. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See example number 52. Okay. Here you have to find, it is given some, this is, if you see this, okay, I hope you have read the question. So it is asking, a is given, okay, a is a field, and it is asking curl f dot nds over the surface, over the cone z equal to 2 minus under root x square plus y square. So if you guys, first of all, if you guys don't know, okay, if you guys don't know, so I want to, okay, first tell you few things. Okay, so the first thing that I want to tell you guys is that the surface, how to know the surfaces. Okay, the first thing is z equal to, okay, x square plus y square, or any combination, let's say y equal to x square plus z square. Okay, this is a cone. This can be 2, this can be 3, this can be anything, it will be a cone. Okay, for if the coefficients are equal, base will be a circle. If the coefficients are not equal, base will be a ellipse or hyperbola, depending on the signs. But this represents a cone. Sorry, this represents a cone if z square y square. Okay, and if z equal to x square plus y square, then this represents a parabola. Okay, paraboloid. How to sketch it? If you, let's say, like this, how to sketch it? Like in this case, okay, in this case, it is given, that in this case the equation is z equal to 2. Z is equal to 2 minus under root x square plus y square. Okay, z equal to 2. So first put z equal to 2. So here x square plus y square to 0. Okay, which is only possible when x and y both are 0. So for 0 comma 0 comma 2, this is the, okay, this is the vertex of the cone. Okay, and if I put z equal to 0, okay, z equal to 0, so you will get x square plus y square equal to 4, right? We'll get x square plus y square equal to 4. Okay, which is a circle. So it will be a cone like this. So, okay, it will be a cone like this. This is x square plus y square plus 4, and this is like this. This will be cone like this. And let's say if the condition was z square, z is equal to x square plus y square. So if z equal to 0, x plus y is 0, so it will be something like this, a parabola. Okay, and this surface, let's say if z equal to 2, so the circle will be x square plus y square equal to 4. So just know that if we have z square equal to x square plus y square type terms, it is a cone. Okay, and because we know that cone is homogeneous equation. Okay, and if we have z equal to x square plus y square, so if y equal to 0, z equal to x square, parabola, y equal to 0, z equal to x square, parabola, x equal to 0, z equal to y square, again a parabola. So this is a parabolic cylinder. Okay, this is a parabolic cylinder. So you know these things first. Okay, now the question is given that it is, we have to find curl of a. Okay, curl of a dot n ds. Okay, wherever you see curl, two things should come to your mind. First thing is Stokes theorem. Stokes theorem. Why Stokes theorem? Because Stokes theorem converts f dot dr to curl of f dot n ds. तो हो सकता है, तो we can convert it backward also, but only if it is becoming easier, right? The second thing you should know, you should remember is curl of f, curl of a gradient is 0, and gray wait, you should remember is not curl of gradient is 0. Divergence of curl is 0, like the second thing. Divergence of curl is 0. Okay, divergence of curl is 0. How we will use it? Okay, we will use it in this question. So just confirm me once that you can see the question. Can you see the question? Hello.
No, no.
uh can you uh okay, let me do it again. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Great. So see this question in example 52. Okay, in example 52, a curl of a dot nds, we have to find curl of a dot nds. Okay, a is given. Okay, and s is a surface of the, it is a cone. Okay, I already sketched the cone. Then how to do it? The keyword here is above the xy plane. That is, you don't need to include the xy plane. The surface is only the lateral part of the cone. Okay, the lateral part of the cone, not the base of the cone. Okay, so it is an open surface. It is an open surface. Okay, it is an open surface. Now we will come to the main thing. Okay, we'll come to the main thing. Okay, so what is the main thing? This is the cone, and we, this is not included, not included. Okay, and this is the surface. And to find of like curl of a dot nds, the ds part for this later surface is very tough, right? So we need to convert it. Okay, we need to convert it. How to convert it? So one thing is Stokes theorem, but in this case f dot dr also is not giving you much, because if you put in terms of z also, it is becoming very complex. Okay, so we want something easy. We want something easy. So we will use Gauss theorem here, and Gauss theorem will be used in a very beautiful manner. So how will we use Gauss theorem? Is first thing is Gauss theorem has some prerequisites. Okay, Gauss theorem has some prerequisite. The first prerequisite is that the surface must be closed. Must be closed. But in this case, the cone base is not included, right? This surface is not closed. So given surface S is not closed. Okay. So we will define a surface S dash. We will define a surface S dash which has S plus the base circle. Okay. Base circle. Call that S1. Okay. This let's call this circle S1. Okay. Now let's find curl dot A dot nds, curl of a dot nds over s dash. S dash is this whole cone, that is the lateral surface as well as the base, right? Now we can use the Gauss theorem here, because now the surface is closed. Okay, what does the Gauss theorem says? What does the Gauss theorem says? Gauss theorem says that for a surface, closed surface f and continuous field f, f dot nds is equal to v divergence of f dv, where v is the volume inside the surface S, right? This is Gauss theorem, right? So for surface S dash, okay, curl of a dot nds, curl a dot nds, this will become some volume v, volume of cone v, divergence of curl a dv, right? And we know that divergence of curl is 0. So we can write it 0, right? It means surface integral of curl A dot n ds surface R surface, that S dash, is equal to 0. It means we can break it to S plus S1, where S1 is the base circle, S is the given curl of A dot n ds is equal to 0. So you can write it in this for surface S, curl A dot n ds plus for surface integral for surface S1, curl dot A dot n ds is equal to 0, right? So you can say S dot A dot n ds is equal to minus of S1 curl A dot n ds, right? Now, if we can find this, we are done, because both are equal with a negative sign. The question is doing exactly that. The question is doing exactly that. Okay, let's see what the question is doing. Okay, let's see what the question is doing. If you can see, it has defined a surface S dash consisting of the surfaces of S and S1. S dash is closed surface. Okay, S dash is closed surface where S1 is the base circle, and it is using the same Gauss theorem, and it is saying this equal to A dot n plus this equal to 0. Okay, or it is saying dot n, and it is saying n equal to minus k, because for the base circle, if you see, okay, n equal to minus k. Why in the negative direction? Because the surface is closed, right? So you always see the upper part. Okay, so the normal should point downwards. So it is minus k, and here minus and minus or minus k cancel out. So curl A dot n ds equal to curl A dot k ds. Okay, so a was given, we found its curl. Okay, then dot k kiya, so we get curl A dot k equal to 3x square. So the surface integral is reduced to surface integral over the base circle 3x square ds, which is very easy. Just put x equal to r cos theta, because the base is x square plus y square equal to 4. So you can put x equal to r cos theta, where r goes from 0 to 2 and theta goes from 0 to 2 pi. Right? Theta goes because it's a circle, and the question will be solved very, very easily. If we were to solve using the lateral part of the cone, the question would have become very, very tough. Very, very tough. Okay. You can take a screenshot of the meeting, and you can try the example number 53 on your own. Okay. It is a very, this is based on the similar concept. The only difference is, instead of a cone, you have a paraboloid here. Instead of cone, you have a paraboloid here. But this is also based on the same concept. So wherever you see you have to integrate over a surface, curl of something, na, always check for both the options. Can we use Gauss theorem using the by making the surface closed, or if the Stokes theorem is very easy, okay, even in that case you can do. Uh, this is in the drive only. I have opened it in drive only. You can see. Okay, let me show you. Like, this is the R drive only. That drive we have shared. You can, if you go to the updated IMS notes now, it is under vector integrals. Okay, it is under vector integrals. So you can find it in the drive if you want to. These type of questions are given in the sheets also. You don't need to refer to these IMS notes, because you will find these questions in previous year questions also, PYQs also. So just do the PYQs, that will be more than sufficient. Okay, don't run after each and every notes. Just do the PYQs. These questions are asked in PYQs. Okay, that's why I'm sharing it. So just do it. Do it from PYQs. Don't need to do from these things. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So, I hope this question is clear. Okay. So this is one method which is a very good method to use. Okay, very good application of Gauss law. I found it very good to use. There are some questions which can be solved using Stokes theorem as well as the using the Gauss theorem in this manner. So you can choose whatever way you are comfortable with. Some people are very comfortable Gauss theorem. They are not very comfortable using Stokes theorem. They always go for Gauss theorem. I am that kind of person. I always go for Gauss theorem if given a choice. So I use this method most of the times. So you can see there are many questions. Okay, there are many questions. Like in this like here the question is asking you to verify Stokes theorem, and in verification of Stokes theorem he has used Gauss theorem. Okay, so that also happens. Like very different kind of questions are there. Okay, so okay, there one more question that I want to discuss. Okay, this has been asked in PYQ also. Okay, this has been also asked in PYQ. Okay, just a second. No. Yes, this question number. Question number 31. Okay, question number 31. So this has been asked for 10 marks or 15 marks, I don't remember, in the UPSC. Okay, so what they have done is actually they are asking you to show that surface integral of phi, where phi represents some scalar function, and curl of f, where f represents some vector function, obviously because we can't take curl of some scalar function. Okay, so phi into curl f dot ds is equal to line integral of phi f dot dr minus surface integral okay, gradient of phi into cross product with f dot ds. Okay, so here now if you see, so we are, the hint should be that we are reducing the surface integral to a line integral, right, to dr. So obviously Stokes theorem will be used here. Okay, Stokes theorem will be used here. Another thing is, if you see that phi into curl f and gradient phi cross f looks like the theorem, where you find a curl of some phi f, right, curl of some phi f. Okay, let me write it down for you. Okay. Like they, you must be aware of curl of phi f, right, curl of phi f, where it is equal to phi times curl of f plus, okay, curl of f plus gradient of phi cross f. You must be aware about this identity. If not, you should remember these kind of identities. They are very important for vector algebra. Okay, by using this now, they are trying to do that question. Okay, the meeting will be over in 10 minutes, so I will share another link in the group because I need to discuss one or two questions. So if are not discussed within the time, so I will share it. Okay, so what in these kind of questions now, what they usually do is they take a constant function, let's say k, or they will use the same identity. So there are some small tricks in it. Okay, small tricks in it. So you guys should know about see, like one or there are 5 or 6 questions. You guys should see how it is done. Okay, how it is done. Just give me a second. Let me find the question. 31. So here what they will use the same identity. They are finding the surface integral of, okay, curl of phi f, and you can expand it to curl of phi cross f plus phi times curl f dot ds, right, using the same identity. And then using the what we say, using the Stokes theorem, you can write that this equal to line integral of phi f, right, line integral of phi f. So this equal to line integral of phi f dot dr, and just take the second term on the right hand side and you are done. That was the question. So always look for these kind of questions, because this kind of question has been asked in the exam. Okay. Okay, there's one more question that I want to discuss. The question is not that difficult, but people tend to make very silly mistake in it. I don't. Okay, let me see in the PYQs if that question is there. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. 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 Found the question. Okay. I okay. The question is that you you are given a surface x, ax square plus by square plus cz square whole की power minus half dx. You have to find this integral over surface S, where S is the ellipsoid ax square plus by square plus cz square equal to 1. Okay, cz square equal to 1. The thing is, people here, people take f is equal to, that is the vector field is equal to cz square whole to the power minus half, which is wrong. Okay, you cannot directly use Gauss theorem on this given function. If you see clearly here, dot n is missing. Okay, it is deliberately missing. Okay, it is not a typo, it is not a mistake, it is deliberately missing. So this whole function is not f, it is actually f dot n. So in this case, f dot n is equal to 1 upon under root ax square plus by square plus cz square. Okay, f whole complete fn. So first step should be, what is f? You have to find f first and then apply Gauss theorem. The application of Gauss theorem part is easy. Okay, very very easy, because it will reduce to the integration of some constant times integration of dv, and you can directly write the integration of directly write the volume of ellipsoid. But how to find f? Okay, how to find f? So we know that it is the surface of the ellipsoid, and the ellipsoid is ax square plus by square plus cz square equal to 1. Cz square equal to 1. What is the surface of? So if you want to find its normal vector, it is del phi upon mod of del phi, right? You can directly write it. So it is like del phi is 2a xi plus, okay, 2byj plus 2czk, okay, whole upon 2 times under root a square x square plus b square y square plus c square z square, right, plus c square z square. Okay, c square z square. Okay, well, one more thing, I made a mistake. Okay. This is actually a square b square c square. A square b square c square. The surface is ax square by square. uh, the function is actually, okay, so if you solve it, your n vector will come out to be axi plus byj plus czk upon the given term, that is a square x square plus b square y square plus c square z square, right? Right. Let me write it neatly. Okay, the n vector is axi plus byj plus czk upon under root ax square plus a square x square plus b square y square plus c square z square, right? And we know that f dot n equal to 1 upon a square x square plus b square y square plus c square z square. So if we take, just remember this thing, after one or two questions you will understand it how it is coming. If we take xi yj zk, then f dot n will come out to be ax square plus by square plus cz square upon a square x square b square y square c square z square, right? C square z square. And we know that on the ellipsoid ax square by square cz square equal to 1. So therefore f dot n is equal to 1 upon a square x square b square y square c square z square, right? C square z square, right? So we can say that f equal to xi plus yj plus zk. Now you can use the Gauss divergence theorem. So we were to find a surface integral of a square x square plus b square y square plus c square z square ds, okay, power minus half ds. So we can say f dot n is equal to this, and f is equal to xi plus yj plus zk, xi plus yj plus zk. So divergence of f, because this is a closed surface, so we can use Gauss divergence theorem. Ellipsoid is closed, so divergence will come out to be 3, 1 plus 1 plus 1, right? Divergence will come out to be 3. So this integration will become this will be equal to 3 times 3 times volume integral dv. And we note the what is the volume of ellipsoid. Okay, what is the volume of ellipsoid? So for if the ellipsoid is x square by a square plus y square by b square plus z square by c square equal to 1, so then the volume is pi abc. Here the ellipsoid is ax square, you can let x square by 1 by a plus y square by 1 by b plus z square by 1 by c equal to 1. So the volume will come